Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy New Year. I'm George Atala from the NFLPA, joined by my wonderful and lovely colleague, Teri Smith. All right, that's good. Wave to the people, Teri. Teri, what is your title?
My title is Deputy Managing Director and Special Counsel.
There you go. The special counsel part is what gets me, because Teri and I have worked together here for almost 8 years now. And, both of us have very cool roles here at the NFLPA. Today we're going to get to know a little bit about Teri, talk about the year that was in 2016, look at some things that we want to accomplish in 2017 as an organization, as a staff, and frankly, for you, Teri, some personal goals that you might have for yourself. And maybe as the objective is, every time we turn these things on with Facebook Live or Periscope, when you join us, we hope that you have a little bit more insight into the work that we do at the NFL Players Association and get some insight into some of the things that we're trying to accomplish to serve our active and former player membership. So, Teri, when did you join the NFLPA?
I started on August 4th, 2009.
So you've been here a while now, and your role has morphed. Tell people a little bit about what you do here.
I think I do a lot of things. That's what I'm told anyway. When I first started, there was a strong emphasis on the former player community. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, making sure that the former players were as engaged, if not more so, than the active players, because they had sort of been a community that had expressed that they wanted to be more involved in the past. So that led somewhat to the launch of the Trust, which launched in November of 2013. And we could probably talk more about that later, but that is specifically for former players, benefits that they've earned and are now able to reap. Since then, my role has morphed a few times. I work a lot with the families of the players, because when you join the NFLPA as a member, you join with your entire family. We take the whole circle. So I work a lot with the wives, the moms, the dads, and anybody else who wants to be involved with the player and his well-being. And then finally, I work a lot with our service and engagement of our membership, and I guess most specifically overseeing events that we provide to the players.
Well, speaking of events, we are heading into that time of year now where the NFL season is winding down. The regular season's obviously over now, and sorry your Panthers didn't quite make it to the heights of last year.
It's okay.
We are football fans in the office, to anybody who thinks that we just kind of walk in and just quietly do our jobs. We do have rooting interests, and
Yes,
Carolina is your favorite team, right?
And I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to the Queen City.
There you go. But now, as the season winds down and players are gearing up for the playoffs, we gear up too. So, like you said, it's event season. What are some of the things that you have planned and are leading?
Oh, wow. First up is our NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. This is our 6th year, and it's on January 21st, 2017, now that we're in it. That is going to be out in LA, broadcast on FS1, and that's very exciting. That's where we get to meet a number of our future members. To date, we have somewhere around 150 Collegiate Bowl players in the league who are alum. We're very proud of that. You know, Chris Connolly, Trayvon Boykin, Luke Wilson, to name a few. We also have the Pro Bowl events that we put on. Obviously, that's an NFL stage, but we do provide some opportunities to engage with our membership. That's going to be in Orlando. And then the biggest stage of them all, Super Bowl. So again, we have a number of events in which we will get a chance to see and greet our membership, and also provide some opportunities for them to have activations, turn a couple deals, and just do all the things that they love to do.
Explain to me what activations are, because I think people are watching. I mean, we in the business sort of, thrive off of Super Bowl week, where we have players show up, they do these appearances, but for us, an activation is really an opportunity for what?
It's an opportunity for us to work with our players, for them to become a little bit more prosperous, and also to expand the, maximization of player rights. This is when players sign up and do commercials, they do print ads, really any type of marketing for some of our licensees and or NFL sponsors. So it's a really great time for players and a really fun time for us.
I hear we have a comment coming in from the audience.
We do. We have a comment from Michael Ray Garvin, who's a free agent
Hey, Mike.
Used to play with the Arizona Cardinals, and he says that he really appreciates the union. They really help former players, and he's personally been helped by the NFLPA. He's grateful for the union, and he's also hoping that they would bring back the skills test at the Pro Bowl like they had in the past.
Oh, sweet. Well, thanks for tuning in, Michael. We appreciate the commentary. We obviously have a little fun when we do this here every Tuesdays at noon, but the mission is precisely to get feedback like that from our former player membership. Dovetailing directly into that, you mentioned that one of the missions that you have here, one of your staff responsibilities is to support, from an NFLPA side, the trust.
Mm-hmm.
We had Bahati Van Pelt as our first guest on our Facebook Live. What sort of role do you still have with the trust, and how are they doing?
The trust is doing awesome. Embarking on its 4th year, they are just doing great things. Bahati can give a more specific assessment, but I know we had in excess of 3,000 players enrolled, also reaping the benefits of the services, and we are on the cusp of launching some new services that I think will be really advantageous to the former player membership. I continue on the board of the trust, so I sit as the chair, and we've had great meetings, great responses, great feedback. Even along with the NFL, former players are being served, and they're being served well. So nothing but admiration for the work that the trust is doing.
Awesome. We have another comment. Our producers are in the house here, Lewis and Stephanie.
3 comments, then they're all for Teri.
Oh, good.
One from Nolan. He says, "It's Teri. We love her."
Oh, we love Teri. We do love Teri.
Melissa Brispin says, "Go Teri."
Oh my
Go
goodness.
Teri.
Thank
That's
you.
And Sam McNabb says, "Hi Teri and George. Good stuff."
Good.
Hi,
Sam,
Mr.
good to see
McNabb.
you. All right. So, again, this is one of the things that, in terms of the special counsel hat that you wear and serving the players and their families, Mr. McNabb has been a long time supporter of the Parents Association, is that right?
Absolutely. He had been the president of the Fathers Association for a very long time. He recently turned the reins over to Mr. Randall, Antoine Randall's father. So they're both just super great, and I say hi back with much enthusiasm.
So what is the significance of our connection to the parents groups and the family groups? Because I think, when you talk about the NFL player himself coming into the league, doing his job as a wide receiver, tight end, offensive lineman, whatever, people forget that this element exists of the people around that player who are there as a support system for him. The union being an extension of that, but in between there is the player's family and friends.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's good to get into now what our role is to help that group of people support the players. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Honestly, it's like any other job. When you start a job, you get your benefits package, you get all the information that relates to your job. And I think, like most people, players go and share that with the people that are close to them, the people that have supported them all the way until they get to this point. Well, we take advantage of that. We tap into that circle and say, look, we extend any opportunity to you to engage. If you have a question for us, we're happy to answer it. If there's anything else we should be providing, we're happy to do so. And I think with players, it's especially important because they are laser focused during the season. So anything that they need, any show of support, anything that we can further provide, I think it's great to have at least somebody in their circle of influence and support that can help us out with that, even if they're just a liaison, even if they're there, pom-poms on, cheerleading. However it works, I think it's great to make sure that the family is included.
And then our role, too, is to communicate any major changes to those types of issues. So I think 2 years ago, was it, the 401k program had changed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major benefit that if you're an NFL player, you receive for being in the league. And so one of our jobs is to make sure that every active NFL player knows that benefit has changed, make sure that they take advantage of that benefit. And if you're anything like the two of us, my wife will call me and say, well, what's the deal with this benefits package change? I think...
Great point, George. During the lockout, we had our player directors, and I believe you met Don Davis in a previous chat. they went around and explained to the locker rooms, this is what the benefits package is currently while we're locked out. This is what we hope for it to be once the CBA is signed. Well, I think that 2 sets of ears are better than one. So I did the same thing with the wives of those locker rooms, and they were very receptive, very engaged, had lots of questions, and hopefully it led to some pretty significant discussions at home in case one of them or the other missed some of the information or had questions that the other one didn't think of. So it turned out to be a really, really good effect because we had lots of conversation and discussion that led to an outstanding CBA being signed in 2011.
And those are the types of discussions that, frankly, we have when you talk about this is a family business. This is our family business. And we need to have those discussions with not just the membership, but with the people who support them, as we've sort of reiterated on healthcare, on pensions, on benefits. One other support area that we really talk about quietly that I think Teri's involved with as well is our crisis management group. So we've looked to really accelerate that over the last couple of years. We know that we've heard a lot of stories of players who are in tremendous need or in really challenging situations, either with mental health or with other issues that they're facing. Teri's involved with making sure that that operation runs smoothly as well. Anything you want to add on that aspect of it?
I think that about covers it. The only other maybe nuanced piece of that is we've been working very well over the last couple of years with our Domestic Violence Prevention Commission. And if there are players who are in crisis or anyone in their family who are in crisis, we've been lending an ear. We've directed them to resources that can help, and also worked on just basically enriching the lives of players and their families in a preventative fashion as well. So that's been going really well.
Good. Question.
We have one very kind comment and one question.
Let's hear the kind comment first.
The kind comment is from Sam Collar. Says, thanks guys for giving a great insight behind the scenes. Awesome job you're doing for the players.
Thank you.
Lewis has the question.
These are, by the way, impromptu comments. Like, we're not feeding Sam. Shout out to Sam.
The comment or the question is from Gabriel Martins. How hard is it to find common ground to work with such a diverse group of people as is the NFL players?
So thanks for the question. I think it's something that we face on a daily basis. And, Teri and I are, you heard from Don Davis earlier in the series, but we do have 2,000 roughly active players from diverse backgrounds, from diverse upbringings, different ethnicities, racial groups, religions, and creeds. But I think we can all sort of agree on one set of basic goals that we want to try to achieve for them, and that's their collective bargaining rights. And we really approach our job as, do you fundamentally believe in having the best working conditions? Do you fundamentally believe in having the best possible health care? Do you fundamentally believe in having the best possible due process for your rights? Do you fundamentally believe in having a seat at the table with the other side when it comes to making these decisions? So I think that's a way that we try to approach it, the most basic common ground on those issues. Have I missed anything?
No, I think that's definitely our main approach. And just further, we don't treat our membership as a monolith. I mean, as George said, there's 2,000 of them. My high school was 2,300 students. Basically, there's time and energy spent getting to know each and every one of our players, again, talking to them, engaging with them, and we have a democratic process on everything.
That's
so
right.
If players have a viewpoint that they want to express, we want to hear it, we support it. If there's a vote to be taken, it's done so in a democratic way. So there's never really a scenario where players are left behind or their voices aren't heard.
And that's because of the way that the system is set up. So neither Teri nor myself nor Dee nor Don nor anybody in this building can make a material decision about any of these things without the, not just approval, but the consensus and really authorization of our executive committee and our board of player reps. One thing we failed to note that Teri, you and I were talking about this before we came in the room, we have the largest group of reps ever, is that right?
Yes, we do.
So from our board of player reps and our co-alternates, we've got the largest group that we've ever had. And so you talk about, the question came in about how you deal with that diverse set of opinions. Our democratic process calls for us to get together in March, which this year we'll do in sunny Arizona.
Yes.
And sit in a room for as long as it takes to hash out issues on the drug policies, Thursday night football, shares of revenue, pensions, healthcare, everything that comes up. They approve the budget, right? So that's one stress that you've got this week. Sorry to remind you.
No.
Back from the break, but you know, the Board of Player Reps approves every dollar that we spend here at the NFL Players Association. So it is truly a democratic process that is led by the player reps. Let's close on a couple of fun things. How's the break? If you had a break.
It was awesome. It was a little shorter than I would have wanted because we do have these upcoming events, but it was fantastic.
Good. And you get any fun gifts?
I did. I got a foot massager for my husband.
Like an actual? No, what did you get? You got it from him or you gave that to him?
From him.
Oh, okay. That's a nice foot. Oh, Lewis, we got another question. See, foot massager. Didn't really get much play. Good job, Paul. That's a good gift. Can I get one?
We have a comment and then also a question.
All right, fire off.
From Leah Patterson, she says, great information. NFL players are so fortunate to have people like Teri and George working for them.
Thank you.
And then the question is from Cameron Gordon. Hi, guys. This past year, the NFLPA put so much emphasis on celebrating the 60-year history of the union. What are the most important lessons in most important lessons that current and future players should be learning from that period?
Good. So 60th anniversary was another initiative that you and I worked on closely together along with many colleagues in the building, Veronica Jenkins and several others. You see the logo still exists in our building. History is a big part of what we do. Mm-hmm. So the question is, what are some of the biggest lessons that active players and former players can learn from that celebration?
Well, I think that there are two big lessons. I think one, which you pretty much just stated, is that history teaches us a lot about the present and the future. The NFL and its players didn't just begin, yesterday. The relationship that we have right now didn't just begin in the last 10 years. It started in 1956 and has progressed onward since then. And it's important for the players to know that their union has been fighting for their rights for a very long time, now 61 years. So I think that's one important lesson. The second important lesson I think we learned is that basically we have an opportunity to look forward to the next 60 years, and it's okay to stop and celebrate some of the gains and wins. I know here we look for our team to provide world-class service to the players, but every once in a while we have to stop and say, well, wait a minute, this is going really, really well, and we need to make sure that the players are aware of it and all the benefits that they have. So I think it's okay to celebrate every once in a while, and this past year for our 60th anniversary, that was really the first time we'd ever done anything like that. So it was great.
Well, I have a question for you, Teri.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, no.
New Year's resolutions?
I don't have any New Year's resolutions. I mean, it's really just stop saying try and should and just do.
Good. Well, that's a good one. Since you talked about your gift, I'm going to give a shout out to my mother-in-law who hooked it up with a shirt and sweater combo under the tree. Thanks, Barb.
It's very fly.
Any other questions or comments from the group out there? Okay. All right. Well, we're 20 minutes in. Teri, I hope this was not as painful as you thought it was going to be.
I know. I stopped crying right before the camera started rolling, so thank you.
Tune in every Tuesday at noon to our Facebook Live and Periscope live stream. Hope to see you guys next week. Collegiate Bowl is January 21st. January 21st. Tune in on FS1. We'll be firing off as much promotion on this in the coming weeks as possible. Make sure to follow us at NFLPA and Facebook.com/NFLPA. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.